Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of congregational humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. Thank you for joining us.
Friends, for months I have been singing this song by Holly Near. Thanks for your willingness to try to sing along. I've watched this particular video dozens of times. Its scenes are from the state of Texas, but I think the themes are universal. Same legislative buildings, same people coming together, same wearers of those yellow Side with Love shirts. Same heartbreak in the same ways that we come together. As Shelley shared, this was produced by MUUSJA's counterpart in Texas. We are 2 of 24 UU state action networks, 24 and growing, who are organizing for justice. And I am particularly delighted to be here at First Unitarian Society because you have been with MUUSJA's journey since the very beginning, back when the M of MUUSJA stood for Metro, the Metro UU Social Justice Alliance. And then we grew and became Minnesota, and you have been with us all the way. So thank you for that. To borrow some of our opening words, statewide networks like ours are organizing to drown out the evils of empire and hate and greed, and to bring collective love, united love, revolutionary love to meet the fresh hell on earth that is upon us right now. We are living in a time that is dehumanizing and cruel, that uses fear and intimidation as a means of control. The hell we're in right now goes against all of our UU values, goes against religious concerns with humanity's welfare, which the Reverend John Dietrich, who you know well here at FUS, suggested was a commitment that presumably all religions had in common: the care for the humanity's welfare. Yet Christian nationalism and fascism and the unrepented and unrepaired legacy of colonization and slavery and genocide have eroded this foundational care for the diverse and beautiful array of humanity and for our earthly home. Those on the margins, people who hold particular identities, are reliving old betrayals, are feeling just the latest version of history repeating its harm. This isn't an unfamiliar round of evil, but the compound denigration and intense pitting of people against people, the disregard for even basic human dignity, carries particular trauma for us all. Reverend Jen Butler, the founder and director of Faith and Democracy, wrote that cruelty has become a liturgy for this government. And so the question before us is, what is the countering liturgy for us Unitarian Universalists? For all people of conscience and those with a religious or spiritual or moral compass that points to interconnection and to interdependence and diversity. I believe it comes out of the center of our values, living love out loud in public and across all parts of our personal life. It's choosing, because yes, we have that pesky freedom and responsibility to choose. It's choosing to live into revolutionary love, choosing to live into the full and messy and embodied covenant of love that is the spirit of this place, our liturgy, and our lives. The first time I truly experienced the communal, rumbling, joyful, encouraging, life-giving, and life-sustaining sounds and energy and vibrancy and liturgy of this big love, this loud love, was at the UUA General Assembly in Phoenix, Arizona, back in 2012. Justice GA, as it was known. Were there others here that were with me in Phoenix in 2012? Couple hands, yes. This version of Loud Love, and to be clear, there are many versions, emanated in the glow of radiating lights and the wearing of bright yellow shirts that declared ourselves a people who will always side with love. It rang out in songs and chants, and by our very act of showing up, our presence there in that place. And to illuminate this event more clearly, I want to share the story directly from a beautiful article that was published in UU World. They share it so wonderfully. And their story goes like this. On one June evening, following a day with triple-digit heat, thousands of arms still raised but holding battery-operated candles glowing against the black desert sky. Wedged together, shoulder to shoulder, more than 2,500 people sang, prayed, and shouted, "Shut it down!" at a visual outside the notorious Tent City Jail in Phoenix, Arizona. By a vote of the delegates 2 years before, the Justice GA was to have minimal business to make room for public witness against the culture of cruelty against immigrants in Arizona that is spreading across the United States. At Tent City on that Saturday night, inmates behind the chain-link fences of the outdoor jail could hear UUs and community members. Newspapers around the world ran photos of people in yellow standing on the side of love t-shirts that we wore back then, waving candles in the dark. Tent City is a complex of outdoor jails created by Joe Arpaio, who calls himself America's toughest sheriff. Parked beside the entrance was a black tank emblazoned with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office logo. Beneath concertina wire on the chain-link fence, a sign said, Tent City, 19 years, 437,946 served time. More than 40 busloads of people from the convention center stretched out along Durango Street outside Tent City. Each bus had a chaplain aboard who led songs and reminded people of the peaceful nature of the event. Many stopped off their buses in the midst of dueling protests, with about 100 Arpaio supporters bearing American flags and Way to Go Joe signs, facing local protesters across the street, with our placards demanding arrest Arpaio and shut down Tent City. Down Durango Street, drums and songs filled with night air. The folk duo Emma's Revolution let us keep on moving forward in English and Spanish. Keep on moving forward. We're gonna keep on moving forward, never turning back. Never turning back. UUA President Peter Morales, our first Latino president, was visibly moved by the thousands of peaceful protesters. Hold up those lights one more time, he beckoned. Those lights have to go back to Alabama, Missouri, Massachusetts, Oregon, California, he urged. Morales echoed his own words from the opening night celebration when he said that Justice GA was just one chapter in the struggle for migrants' rights. The true test, he said, will be what UUs are doing 3 months from now and 5 years from now in their congregations and communities. Will they keep their candles lit back home. So here we are now. That was in 2012. Here we are now. Now we have alligator Alcatraz. We have Nazi flags flying. Just the other day, I have friends who told me that they saw them in Egan and Apple Valley. Nazi flags. We have polygraph loyalty tests going on at the FBI. We have ICE raids, and on and on and on. No one here has not been touched in some way by this escalation of cruelty, in this rise of fascism that seems sudden, but has been building for a long time. We bear witness, and we also are directly impacted by what is happening across our country. That was a lot. So just breathe for a minute. Breathe. Because while it is absolutely overwhelming and scary and a lot, and the way forward seems daunting, we are not helpless. We are not without power. We are not without coming together in the tens and thousands and millions of people in revolutionary love. Our candles are still lit. We are here, and our faith, our values, our commitment to justice means we will not allow this to come to pass. We will not forsake those who came before us. We honor these feelings, and we can center down, borrowing words from Howard Thurman. We can center down into the strength of our greater covenant and into the mighty, mighty, mighty force of love. We rise up by telling and hearing and seeking out the stories that lift diverse identities, complicated and hard histories, different perspectives, life experiences, and truths. We choose connectedness and compassion. We choose to be a blessing for others. We choose to recognize the strength of knowing that we are not alone. We show up for justice, grounded by the stories that we learn and share, because it makes a difference when we cry out in loud love, "My liberation is bound up in yours." None of us are free until we are all free. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. These aren't just empty words. These carry the weight and history of revolutionary and radical love that is in our very beings. And it makes a difference when we gather in spaces like this, in circles of gratitude and care for one another, breathing in peace and breathing out love, declaring ourselves open and willing to be lifted up to the light of change. This is how we build a long-haul movement with a scope and scale that is truly transformational, when we transform ourselves moment by moment, day by day, in the spirit and power of love. We organize across our communities. We have clarity, resilience, courage, and conviction, and we keep on learning, keep on connecting, and keep on taking action together. When we are rooted in care, and when we are grounded by our values, when we lift up the stories of when we are loud with our love in all parts of our lives, here on Sundays, in our homes, in our workplaces, with our families, with our friends, with our neighbors, that is who we know who we are with and who we are fighting for. We can live our love loudly in so many different ways. By advocating for political change with our legislators and elected officials and policymakers, and your Active Voices work does this so well and is a great piece of this work. We join marches and vigils, boycotts and direct action. We respond to deeper hardships and needs within our communities. We provide financial resources and mutual aid. We provide sanctuary and community defense. We fortify our community well of care, connectedness, and compassion, and we put more love and goodness and kindness into the world. My experience in Phoenix in 2012 had a long-lasting impact on me, and it broke open my willingness to be changed, my willingness to be uncomfortable, my willingness to do something I had never, ever done before. It was a particular kind of loud love that was a catalyst for me. And it's only part of the way that I live and practice and rise up. And so the question before you is, what is the catalyst that can bring your love forward, not just in those flash moments, but in the steady, everyday ordinariness of life? Because loud love is not measured in decibels. It is in kinship, in the volume of our commitment, our intention, in the volume and the bigness of our heart and solidarity that we amass when we are in relationship with one another. Loud love isn't singular. It doesn't come from one booming voice. Loud love can be a sustained note of sustenance, of meeting a moment, meeting a need, a hunger, and an ache. It is dynamic and challenging. It's not just heard, but it's perceived as an animating and cumulative force. And here's the thing. This road we're on might not be a highway to hell, but it's certainly going through a whole lot of hells that we won't be out of anytime soon. So if we keep screaming our love, we have to open our imagination to find all of the ways that our love can be loud. My colleague, the Reverend Sean Neil Barron, asks of himself and asks of us, is being on this particular outrage treadmill actually training us for the marathon we're in? Or are we practicing sprinting when what we need is the long, steady burn of people who know how to last? Maybe the real rebellion isn't keeping up with every fresh hell. Maybe it's choosing where to pour your finite heart. Maybe it's saying that I see you when we mean it, and staying quiet when you need to breathe. Loud love is cutting through the noise, blocking out what's unnecessary, and finding stillness and focus. Muting just enough and just often enough to hone in on what you need to find or pay attention to or invite in. It's cutting through the noise of our own fear or desire to control and cutting through our colonized imagination that makes us small and quiet. Amidst that clutter of noise, can we find and feel and know and believe again and again in active hope, in beauty and wonder, in connection and all that is life-giving? Can we hear our heart? Can we hear the whisper of our breath? And can we hear the rumbling of readiness and resistance in all of its forms? Because big love, at all volumes, transforms us and changes us. This is the kind of love that the musical trio Brother Sun sings about. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. And so we whisper, we shout, we sing, we breathe, we share, we listen, we cry out, we hug it out. We put words on signs, we make noise with art, we knock on doors, deliver food, provide shelter, and sometimes, for some of us, we put our bodies on the line. This kind of love builds and builds and builds until the clamor of all of us, of the multitudes of us, of the loud love embodied in a multitude of ways by all of us, becomes a collective loudspeaker of connection, courage, compassion, joy, and liberation. Love is loud, my friends. It is the clamor that comes when you and me and all of us do the myriad of ordinary tasks of blessed presence, of brave direct action and street taking and phone calls and organizing and being with each other that brings us together. Love is the animating center of our faith, declares our UUA president, Sophia Betancourt. Far more powerful, she says, than any faction, leader, nation, or creed. It is this fierce love that compels our deepest loyalty and our most courageous action. And it is this love that moves through and between us, enabling us to nurture wisdom, guidance, courage, and grounding in ourselves and one another. I don't know how many times I've said it in this talk, but I'll say it one more time. Love is loud. Will you say it with me? Love is loud. It is mighty. It is powerful. It is revolutionary. Love is loud. Love is loud. Say it again with me. Love is loud. So be loud with your love, my friends. Let it bring a fierce love to everything that we do. Let us know that we all have a role to play. And if you have any wonderings about what role that might be for you, come see me after this. Let's talk and find a path forward, because we all, every single one of us, can find some way to live our love loud. Some way to stretch and grow and meet the moment that is before us. Let us care for one another and care for this precious world, its people, and the life that sustains us all. Let us move forward together in revolutionary love and be changed by it. May it be so.
Thanks for listening. You can find much more about humanism and what's happening at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis by visiting our website at firstunitarian.org.